guys, this is Ann with the Heritage Alliance, and I'm here right now in Oak Hill School. And it was a one-room schoolhouse that was open from 1886 to 1952, and it was actually a part of Washington County Schools. And I say, one room because 1st through 8th grade were all together in this one space. Now, after it was a school, it was a barn, and then it sat empty for years and years until it was moved here to Jonesboro in the 1990s to save it. It was originally part of the Knob Creek community, which today is part of Johnson City, and they, weren't able to keep it where it was, so it was brought here, and we made it look how it looked in 1892, 1893. So when kids come and visit today at Oak Hill School, they're going to step back in time to 1893, and the lessons are just like they were 100 years ago. The lunch is a little different, the games are a little different, so kids really get to see what school was like over 100 years ago. Now, one of the sort of customs that was really popular in the late 1800s was a tradition called May Day, and some people still celebrate it today. It's the 1st of May. And it's a really, really old celebration. It was sort of seen as the celebration of the seasons changing because it's spring and everything's growing and the days are longer and sunnier. And some communities would have festivals. You may have heard of a maypole, which was a giant pole sticking out of the ground and have a bunch of ribbons coming off of it. And people would take the ribbons and they dance around the pole with the ribbons. And there were a whole bunch of dances around the maypole. So it's just a really old tradition. And part of that tradition is a thing called May baskets. And, people used to make these, usually out of like newspaper or really whatever paper they had available. And it's just like a little cone. Some people would actually get, real baskets, but most people would make their own. A little cone, and then inside the cone, you could stick flowers. People traditionally put flowers, little candies, maybe a little note. And you're just gonna hang these on the door of somebody you cared about. Maybe it was a sibling, parents, a neighbor, boyfriend, girlfriend, really someone you loved and cared about, just a little note to let them know that you were thinking about them. Now, there is a bit of superstition with the May basket, in that if you were a gentleman who was trying to court a lady or get her to go out on a date with you, you would hang, a May basket with flowers on her door to show interest. But if she caught you doing it, then she could tell you no, or she'd feel like she wouldn't be able to go out with you because you weren't graceful enough to hang this on her door and not get caught. So there was a bit of superstition around the May basket. But really, it's just a way to show somebody, hey, I'm thinking about you. Now, you can make these at home. They're pretty easy to do, and most of the stuff you need to do it, you probably already have at home. So you're just gonna need some paper. If you wanna write something on it beforehand, or if you wanna decorate after you make the basket, either way, just be sure that the paper you're about to cut up, you have permission to cut up that paper. Paper can be any color, and what you're gonna wanna do is make a triangle out of that piece of paper. So if you haven't cut your paper already, and you might need someone's help with this, an older person's, you're gonna take some scissors and you're gonna cut diagonally on your piece of paper. So you get kind of like a really big triangle. But now this is too big, so we're still not the right size. So then we are going to fold it so it kind of looks like this. You kind of have this bottom part sticking down. So again, you're going to fold it diagonally, and you're going to get rid of this bottom part. It can be scrap paper for something else. So then you're going to get your handy dandy triangle. And then you're just going to roll it to make the cone. You start at the bottom. Then you're gonna roll until you get, a little basket here. Make sure you've got the opening there that you can put something in. Now you can use glue on this as well, but you gotta make sure it stays together. Tape's usually easier because sometimes it takes the glue a while to dry. But if you have glue, that's all you got, don't worry about it. You're just gonna have to hold it until it stays. But you just put a piece of tape there to keep it together. And if you're worried about something coming out the bottom, You can always put a piece of tape on the bottom too, or glue the bottom so that, you know, whatever you put inside the basket isn't gonna fall through. All right, well then you have your little basket. Now, if you want to decorate it, like this one has drawings on it, so you know you could take a marker or crayons, colored pencils, and you know draw on it. Just you know, Happy May Day. You can get some stickers. So I've got some shamrocks left over from St. Patrick's Day. So put some of these on here for luck. I'm gonna go with another sticker. It's still a little sticky. There we go. So you know you can put stickers on it, whatever you want to do. Then you're gonna need to make sure you can hang it. So you can take a hole punch. If you don't have a hole punch, you can use a pencil. Just be careful, do not hurt yourself. If you need assistance, ask someone else near you. And you're gonna make 2 little holes. So next, after you have your holes punched, you're gonna wanna get a piece of string. Could be yarn, could be thread, shoelace even, but you know, nice usable piece of string. And you're going to put it through the little holes. Now you can tape it, or you can tie it, or you can even glue it. There's multiple ways to attach your string, but you just want to make sure that it stays attached to the basket. So there's one. We're going to come over and do the other one. Now, most people, like I said, would put flowers in these, so just make sure that whatever flowers you put in, you have permission to pick. Wildflowers work best, like dandelions, buttercups, but just be sure whatever you're picking that you have permission to. And you don't have to wait till May Day to do this. But yeah, see, then you've got your little hanging basket, and you'd fill it with the flowers or the treats, and then you would just hang it on the doorknob outside the person's door. And you know, this is really a good craft right now for maybe, you know, you're social or physically distancing from somebody, but you still want to let them know you're thinking about them. So maybe make a little May basket and hang it on their door real quick, and then they'll find it. So it'd be a good way to let them know that, you know, you're thinking about them. So hope you have fun making your May baskets, and hope you're staying safe. And now we're gonna scan around Oak Hill School real quick so that you can see what the one-room schoolhouse looks like.